Remember that Missouri Senate race, ones Republicans had all but given up on, calling for Congressman Todd Akin just to get out of the race, out of those rape comments. I could go on and on here. Suffice it to say, a guy who looked lost to the polls, down as much as 10 points, a little more than a couple of weeks ago, is dead even in the latest. You heard me right. Todd Akin is dead even with Claire McCaskill in some of the latest polls coming out of Missouri. Since all these developments, first on Fox, the congressman himself, Todd Akin. Congressman, good to have you. Thank you.
Neil, it's a pleasure to join you and your great audience this afternoon.
This is a bit of a startling development, and I don't know whether Republicans are glad or perplexed. What do you think?
Well, it's probably a mixed message. What we're hearing here is there is a tremendous grassroots level of support, not just in Missouri, but across the whole nation, because I think people have thought about this a little bit after the initial response, and they say, wait a minute, the people of Missouri elected somebody. Do we want party bosses appointing someone? And I think a whole lot of people are coming down on the side of, hey, an election is an election, and we don't want to set the precedent that party bosses pick someone. So from that, the support has been very strong. We get around the state, and people are shaking hands, say, stay in there, be strong, you're going to win it.
Nevertheless, even with your surge, when I talk to likes of Reince Priebus and others, they say not another penny for you. Mitch McConnell, no support for you. So they're not exactly rallying around you.
Well, if you're talking about money, we have been receiving some money in the office from people, small contributions, but lots and lots of them. And Neil, if you want to help, just akin.org. We'd love to have you on the bandwagon. But
what would you do?
It's
not out of the question. I'm sorry, but Congress, it's not out of the question. You could still win this thing. Then the issue comes up that I raised with Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader, as to how you would then vote. Would you be angry at Republicans and not vote with them? Would you be an independent? How would you vote?
Well, let me say this, Neil. I am deeply concerned about America. That's why I've been doing the things I've been doing for years. And this isn't all about me. This is about fixing an economy that is fundamentally broken. It's about people without jobs. It's about a government that's taking our freedom and that's out of control. And I will work with anybody that wants to get America back on track and make sure the government is the servant and no longer the master.
You didn't quite answer my question, that whether you would be accepted into the Republican fold, whether you would recoil at that. What would you do? Mitch McConnell would reach out to you. He was telling me when I was at the Republican convention last week, Congressman, he thinks you would vote with Republicans, that it's kind of in your DNA to vote with Republicans anyway. I didn't get the idea bygones would be bygones, but that he would see you as a Republican senator helping what he hopes would be a Republican majority. Is that right?
Let me make it clear. I would do absolutely everything in my power to work with his team that's going to try and put our economy and America back on track. I'm fully behind him, and I'm fully behind our great team of Ryan, who I work with in the House, and the entire Republican platform. It's fine. I'm on board with all of that.
And you wouldn't have any beef with the Paul Ryans who said you should step down, the Mitt Romneys who said you should step down, the Mitch McConnells who said you should step down, and on and on and on. You wouldn't harbor any kind of ill will?
No, actually, I'm pretty much of a person that forgives someone when I'm asked to be somebody wants to be forgiven. As I said, it's not about me. It's about doing what's right for our country. And you take a look at where we are issues-wise. This Claire McCaskill I'm running against, wow, what a contrast. We had 71% of people in Missouri voted no on Obamacare. And, of course, I voted to repeal it 30 times. And she was a deciding vote to pass Obamacare. That's why this race is really going to be based on her voting record. And that's why money is not the whole thing. It's about how has she voted. In the state of Missouri, I have an A from the National Rifle Association. She has an F. That's a big deal in our state. And, of course, the economy and jobs are in the tank. People understand $16 trillion that our grandchildren are going to have to pay. This is a big
Obviously
deal.
Big issues. You're right, very big issues. By the way, we did reach out to Senator McCaskill. We have not yet heard back from her, but hope springs eternal. But, Congressman, you obviously have regretted your comments, the rape comment. But it does make me want to follow up with this one, and I know you've asked this and answered this in various ways, but do you believe a woman who becomes pregnant through a rape, should she feel free to have an abortion? Do you make a distinct for pregnancies in the event of rape?
Well, what I've done is I've said all the way along, and I've answered this question now for a couple of weeks, I basically support the plank in the Republican platform. You have to decide, when does life begin, and I never apologize for being pro-life or understanding that life begins at conception. But I'll tell you, Claire McCaskill is completely on the other side of that spectrum. She supports abortions all the way through the 9th month, and even the partial birth abortion. She has not voted against that. So there is this is
but
like
you would
every
be
other
for
issue.
in that. I understand, sir, but you would be in that event. It doesn't matter the means by which someone becomes pregnant, whether through rape or consensual sex. That child should be carried to term.
Well, as I said, I believe life starts at conception, and I don't apologize for that. That is the same platform as we have in the Republican Party, and so I believe that answers your question, Neil.
All right, Congressman, thank you very, very much. Very good having you. Todd Akin, the senator in Missouri. All right.
Thank you.
And dead even in some of these latest polls. So this could add a bit of a drama to the fall campaign. A seat that was thought to be a Republican loss might not be. And he might not be going anywhere. Gabby Douglas, the gymnast, is on the floor of the